home from the night shift and I came across an interesting article that I wanted to share. Now, I had talked about this a while back when there were multiple articles talking about COVID bracelets, how people can identify those who are unvaccinated versus those who were vaccinated. And of course, as time went by, sometimes certain ideas aren't implemented, typically because the people in essence aren't ready yet to be that immoral to go that route. But the NFL is basically going down that path. The Steelers among NFL's least vaccinated players to wear bracelets during practice. And so you can see here, let's see if we can pull up. It says Steelers put unvaccinated players in yellow wristbands in practice. And there was another team, I forget which one it was. There was another team that was doing the same thing where they were putting vaccinated players were wearing red wristbands and then the unvaccinated were wearing the yellow. And of course, in the article in the Blaze, it was talking about how between the two teams that were trying to implement that the players weren't all kind of along for the ride. Some people were wearing the wristbands and other people who were vaccinated were not wearing them. And of course, some players were of course taken back and of course had made statements like retired NFL fullback Anthony Sherman compares COVID vaccine wristbands to racial segregation. That's basically what it is. Basically segregating those and kind of like putting them out there, kind of shaming them for not getting vaccinated so that people can see, oh, you're not vaccinated. And of course, if someone were to get sick or if someone were to test positive, then of course they would act as easy scapegoats where people can sit there and point the finger and be like, well, you see, you're the reason why I tested positive, etc. Right? So an easy way to kind of manipulate people into taking it, utilizing shaming tactics. And of course, this was something very similar to what Hitler had used by making the Jews, wear, the little yellow star. And of course, he would put even like a little insignia on the Jewish businesses so that the Germans, when they would walk around, they would notice like, oh, you're a Jew, right? You're a Jew. Or that business belongs to a Jew. And of course, they would subsequently not do business in those places. And it's a real easy way just basically to target people. Now, there was another article that I did want to touch on. This is coming out of Texas, right? For all you people out there, they're like, Texas, yeah, Texas, we're not like you city folk, right? We're not like you crazy city folk out there. We're out here, we're free. We follow the Constitution. North Texas Doctors Group says retreats on policy saying vaccination status to be a part of care decisions. It says this would have been a big change in healthcare, and it was all outlined in a memo obtained by a watchdog. And it says this happens to be the first time doctors officially will be allowed to take a vaccination status of sick patients into account, along with other triage factors to see who gets a bed. So basically, if they're running low on beds, and basically what they were trying to say is if you were unvaccinated, then they would not take you over somebody who was vaccinated. This Casanova predicted that if the changes were copied by other medical care for as long as the crisis persists, is going to look and feel different for everybody who is alive right now in the United States of America. This is one important note. This is a non-vaccinated person will not necessarily be denied care when competing with a vaccinated patient for an ICU bed, doctors say. Other medical factors come into play, such as underlying conditions, etc. It says going on the likelihood that the patient will get better and leave the hospital. It says the memo says COVID vaccination decreases severe infection and death. That is the narrative. It says vaccine status therefore may be considered when making triage decisions as part of the physician's assessment of each individual's likelihood to survive. This is when vaccination status is considered, combinations may be needed when the reason for non-vaccination is beyond the patient's control, such as, but not limited to caretaker refusal to have a disabled dependent vaccinated, recent COVID vaccination, medical contraindication. This is basically the route that I had talked about last time, where it is a very slippery slope where we're going down for the foreseeable future.
But the bottom line is, if anyone who doesn't have a legitimate medical reason for not getting fully vaccinated chooses to not get vaccinated, there will be consequences.